Hi, it's Liz again. We're going to do part 2 of Knots 101. We're going to go over 3 knots with you in this video. First, we're going to do the figure 8 knot, then we're going to do the figure 8 follow through, and then we're going to show you the bowline. So we're going to do the figure 8 follow through, and the bowline for you. So the first one is the figure 8. This is a great knot, just like the overhand knot in part 1. It's a great stopper knot for the ends of a rope or a string. But it's also a pretty cool knot to try out. So you start out with your rope. Here's my trusty orange piece of paracord. And we're gonna do a bend in the rope. So I'm gonna put a bend into my rope. And then I'm gonna make a shape that looks a little bit like a fish. So I'm gonna cross the end of my rope across the other part of it. You're gonna take the tail of your rope, so over here on the left side, and loop it around the back. So you're going to twist the fin, we'll say. Then you take your tail and push it through the eye of the loop. And it makes this nice little knot here called the figure 8. It looks a lot like a figure 8. Okay, let me show that to you again. So again, we have our rope. I'm going to put a bend in my rope. I'm going to cross it over, make a fish shape. Take the tail of your fish and twist it around the back of your other piece. And then take the tail and push it through the loop or the eye of your fish, and you have the figure 8. When it pulls tight, it still kind of retains their shape right there. And you can see how this would be a great knot to use at the end of a rope so that it doesn't pull through. It's a nice strong knot. So that is the figure 8. Now the figure 8 follow through follows the same general directions, but instead you double your rope up. So I'm going to show it to you with one color rope, and then I'm going to show you with 2 colors of rope so you can see how it works. So I'm going to take my rope, I'm going to double it up. So at the one end there's a bend in it, but it's doubled up. And now you're going to follow the same thing that we just did. So I'm going to put a bend in my rope, but this time it's just doubled up. I'm going to make my fish shape again. Again, it's just doubled up, so I'm going to do my fish shape. Then take my tail and twist it around, and then pull that through the eye of your knot. And again, you have the figure 8, but it's doubled up this time. And this time, you have a loop at the end that you could connect to anything, and it's a nice strong knot that's not going to slip on you. So that right there is the figure 8 follow through. Now, in case you couldn't see it with a single color rope, I'm going to give it to you with my trusty green piece over here. So we're going to double up our rope. Pretend like this end is that doubled up, that loop at the end. We're going to double up our rope, put a bend in it, make our fish. Do our twists. And then push the end through the eye, and you have your figure 8. Great. So that is the figure 8 follow through. Now I'm going to show you the bowline, which is another great knot to put a loop in the end of a rope. And it's got a nice tight knot that's not going to slip when you pull on it. So we're going to start out, I'm going to show it to you with one color rope, and then I'm going to show it to you with 2 colors of rope so you can see the contrast and how this works. So we're going to start out, we're going to start with a loop. So we did the loop, as you remember, back with the overhand knot, where we just pulled the knot and it would be an overhand knot. This time, what we're going to do is we're going to put our tail through the loop. But instead of pulling tight, we're going to take our rope and we're going to wrap it around the back of the upper piece and push it back through the loop. So you've got your loop here, and you've got your bend around it. so that when you tighten it up, it looks like this. And you've got your loop here on the end of the rope. That's, again, nice and tight so that it's not going to slip when you put pressure on it. So let me show you this with 2 colors of rope so you can see the loop and the bend separately. So we're going to put our loop into our rope. And then we're going to take our tail end, put it through the loop, wrap our tail around the back of the top of the loop, and then put it back through the loop so that you see I have the bend that goes up. The bend goes up through the loop and around the back and back through. The loop is just looped through it. So then when you tighten it, it looks like this. And that would be the bowline. So again, the bowline is great when you want to put a loop at the end of a rope and it's a nice tight rope knot that's not going to slip when you pull on it. So let's review. We've done the figure eight follow through, and the bowline in part 2 of Knots 101. If you do have any trouble with these and you need some more instruction, there's a great website called animatedknots.com that will actually walk you through this step by step, and you can fast forward or rewind and see a lot more detail that you couldn't see here. Otherwise, feel free to watch this video, rewind it as you need to, and check it out. All right, thanks.